commanded from the direction of Sevsk, a well-equipped 42nd Tank Brigade commanded by Major General N.I. Voykov was supposed to launch an attack. But just 2 days later, units of the 24th Motorized Corps captured Oryol. When the advance units of the German 4th Tank Division broke into the city, trams were still running in the streets and crates of industrial equipment intended for evacuation were scattered everywhere. By the end of October 5, the Bryansk front was ordered to retreat to the second line of defense along the banks of the Desna River and to hold Bryansk. On October 6, the 17th Tank Division approached the city from the rear and captured it. Karachev was seized the same morning by the 18th Tank Division. Yeryomenko was forced to give the order for the armies to break through to the east with an inverted front. The 3rd, 13th, and 50th Soviet armies, comprising 27 divisions, 2 tank brigades, and 19 artillery regiments of the RGK, as well as the commands of the 50th, 3rd, and 13th armies of the Bryansk front, were encircled near Bryansk. Major General M. P. Petrov, commander of the 50th Army, was killed. On October 13, during a German air raid, Yeryomenko himself was wounded and was flown to Moscow at night, with his duties taken over by the front's chief of staff, General G. F. Zakharov. At the same time, the 1st Guards Rifle Corps and the Moscow People's Volunteer Divisions, sent to the vicinity of Msensk, managed to hold back the enemy's advance for several days, preventing them from quickly taking Tula. On October 2, the main forces of Army Group Center began an offensive on the Moscow strategic direction. By creating a decisive advantage in narrow sections, the German troops broke through the Soviet defense line in the area of Yelnya and Spazdeminsk. By the end of October 4, Spazdeminsk and Kirov were captured, and on October 5, Yuknov. On the same day, the enemy reached the area of Vyazma. Just like near Bryansk, the command could not determine the direction of the enemy's main attack. It was assumed that the main blow would be delivered by German tank and motorized groups along the Minsk highway axis, in the defensive zone of the 16th Army led by K.E.K. Rokossovsky. A strong, echelon defense was established here. For example, the 112th Rifle Division defended a front of 8 kilometers with a strength of 10,000 men, while the neighboring 38th Rifle Division occupied a front of 4 kilometers, with the same number of troops and a high density of guns and mortars. The main blow was delivered by the Germans north of the Minsk highway, as usual, at the junction between the 30th and 19th Army sectors. Here, 4 Corps launched an offensive against 2 Soviet rifle divisions, the 41st and 56th Motorized Corps, each of which was assigned an infantry division above the standard of the 3rd Panzer Group of G. Gort, as well as the 5th and 6th Army Corps. To the south, the 8th Army Corps was advancing. In total, the strike group consisted of about 16.5 divisions, including 3 armored divisions, more than 420 tanks, and 2 motorized divisions. Within a few hours, the defense line of the 30th Army was broken through, and the enemy began to develop their offensive deeper in towards the right flank of the 19th Army.